as an active person, it is especially more important to find these quieting moments and stillness, and accept that there's both. You can't be just one, otherwise it's just going to be fire and you're going to explode and burn out. And your body needs both yin and yang. There's the softness and hard. There's the flexibility and strength. So it's yin and yang. So there's always those two forces that it's important to embrace. You can't just go fast. You have to slow down. So for me, it was a big practice to slow down. I feel I'm somebody very analytical. My mind is active and wants to question things a lot. So it was a lot to really separate myself from my thoughts and realize that I'm not these thoughts, and I can observe my thoughts and maybe I don't have to believe all of them. Exactly, our attention is the most valued currency, actually. Where our energy goes, exactly this is what grows. So that's why I think it's even more important to kind of filter your surroundings and value your energy, your time, your input, and be very selective about that, because I think as we wake up in the morning, it's I'll just say everything from outside tries to get your attention, and that is your most valuable currency. So it's like making a conscious choice. What do you choose to give your attention to? Allowing yourself to run after maybe that emotion and these feelings, and just ground yourself more into the moment, into the present moment, connection to your body, just observing your feet on the ground, literally like concrete things that you see around you. Just bring your focus back there and taking a breath.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Awareness Club podcast. In this episode today, my guest was pathing on her revolutionary path from mastering the body to listening to the body, from high-end performance to deep, quiet introspection. I'm having with me Liisa Hämäläinen.
Hello, very nice to be here. Thank you for inviting me.
It's such a pleasure, and you are such a particular guest, because in your life you were conducting and showing to your body how to perform, and then you come to the body to listen what it has to say. So let's start to the professional life. I know that you are a ballerina, you were a ballerina, and tell me, how was this high, intense, performative art?
It was definitely a beautiful journey. Like the coin has always two sides. So the beautiful image, so to say, for the audience, and behind a big work in the studio. So it's a lot about discipline and determination and passion. And it truly was a lifestyle more than anything, because it's not a hobby. It was my work and my passion, and something I lived with the full heart. And I'm very grateful to have lived this experience in my life. It was beautiful to connect with the people that are in this field. It was beautiful to have capacity, my body being able to reach these capacities to share with other people, to share this beauty of movement together with the music. It was a great pleasure to travel the world and also experience different stages around the world, and just live this experience of perfecting the movements, perfecting your inner expression. And it was definitely a very important chapter in my life.
What I'm curious is that a lot of times are these discussions about the kids that are going into any type of performance sport and going to the top of it. How this shaped your personality, your life, your values, and how it shaped mostly the kid, Liisa the kid?
So it's funny, because I was always told that it was so natural for me to be self-disciplined, and no one ever forced me to go and exercise. No one ever forced me to be better. I felt I wasn't even like pushed so much from externals, from the teachers or my parents at all. So it was really kind of coming from inside, this passion to evolve and to become better from a young age of child, from being a kid. And but of course, the attributes that it demands to reach the professional level in something physical, professional sports, ballet, extreme approach is a bit required, so to say, to your body, to your mindset. So it formed in a sense of being very critical to yourself as well, having this capacity to look at yourself, see what's not correct, but without letting that push you down, but just being able to go and do better and improve.
It was easy?
It's part of it. I don't know if it was easy. I think it was easy for me because as well, I think this inner critic was already there, sort of wanting to improve things and become better. So in that sense, it was easy. But at the same time, let's say it cannot take over the inner critic. It cannot, like, it has to be still on your side. It has to make you become better, but not push you down. As well as discipline, of course, because it's something that you are doing every day from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. with one break, maybe even staying after time with performances. And this requires definitely to be disciplined and give up certain things in your life.
But as a mental state, how were you navigating and what have you learned into becoming a professional?
So definitely during my professional career, I would say that there was moments that I struggled, for sure, because it is highly demanding mentally, and there's moments that you doubt, that you something doesn't work out, and it's almost that I wish that in this thing that I was doing, ballet, professional ballet, that we would have had support mentally, that there would be people who would guide you a little bit more, because you enter at such a young age to become a professional and you're kind of on your own. So there's no one to really guide you in that sense. I think it's becoming more aware also, like they're becoming more aware of that side, that maybe more guidance is needed. But for me personally, I was very passionate. So I think my passion really drove me. I just I got my fulfillment from becoming better, for seeing my movements becoming better. And so mentally, like I said, there was tough moments when things didn't always work out, but at the same time, this passion kept me satisfied.
And from a psycho-emotional point of view, how were you navigating and what support did you have? Did you had only the parents? It was also the coach. You will have also other people that were coming at least once in a while, like therapy-wise?
Not at all. No, you're it's a definitely profession that maybe other dancers who are already in the company, who are older, you look up to them, you discuss. Of course, there's like teachers who are present and they can support you, they can help you, they're guiding you, they're preparing you for different roles. So that side, of course, there is. But let's say on a personal level, when you're struggling with certain things, you're not so much open to even open about it. You want to show up a bit as a perfect, like you want to put this mask on, like everything is well, I'm strong, I can get through this. And that's the case. And you build up for sure a lot of inner programs through this, like in my case, for sure, that it was that, let's say there was a lot of programming happening about the perfection and control and all those sides, which help for the profession in the moment.
Do you feel that all this baggage, it's now showing up in your life as really giving you a strong and vertical position in front of challenges?
Yes, for sure. I believe that if there's something that I want, there won't be obstacles. So for sure, that is thank you to my former profession. So there's definitely that good side and those inner qualities that gave a lot for life ahead. The discipline, the drive, the trust in myself to be able to be in front of people, and to also follow my passion, not being, let's say, guided by maybe what society tells what is trendy to do or not trendy to do.
And it was always a competition with yourself, or it was like normally it happens that you are comparing to others. And I'm asking this because they are part of how we build our psyche in our childhood, teenager, and then coming into the professional life.
For sure, there was comparison. Of course, there's a lot of always, let's say, dancers you look up to, and they're sort of your example. And when it's a technical thing, because obviously dance, there's a side of technique and side of expression. So expression comes from you. It's your kind of a little, how to say, flavor that you give to your movements. And then the technique is something that is universal. And of course, for that, you look up to the people who have achieved already the perfection in technique. So again, dancing is not sports, and that's why it's art form. So that's why it's hard to say that someone is better than someone else in that way, because everyone has a different taste. In someone's eye, someone has a better, beautiful expression. Some other person has something else that they sense from their movement that pleases them. So in that way, I would say there's comparison, but actually also everyone is individual, and that is beautiful about ballet.
Let's speak about the peak of the career now. So, what did you achieve, and why do you think you attracted this in your life? Because every event that we're encountering comes to show us another side of ourselves or to put us a challenge to evolve. Let's talk about the peak experience.
So the peak experience, of course, was the fact that let's say I reached certain title in my company, that I became a principal ballerina of the company. There was many other peak experiences, of course, performing around the world and just being part of this beautiful community. But the peak experience was to getting this title, a lot of expectations, because let's say you start training, preparing yourself as a child for becoming a professional, maybe, which is not sure. Then you become professional, and then maybe you can move up in the ranks of ballet. And for me, as I said, I was always self-disciplined. So for me, anyways, there was no other choice than just do always better and to push myself and to work harder. So that was my goal. I don't know if I had in my mind so much peak position in mind, but at the same time, I think on my subconscious, yes, it was there. I wanted to be at the top, but let's say it was natural for me to work more and to wanting to improve constantly. And then it came, I guess, from that I manifested that that's just, I don't know other way to give it than giving it 100%. Let's say it was truly a lifestyle. It was truly something I lived and breathed, and it was everything.
You're the first ballerina not anywhere, but in Monte Carlo, which is a top distinction, I would say. How do you think making a step backwards, how do you feel that this impacted who you are today?
Of course, it impacted a lot because as now I've stopped my career 8 years ago. There was definitely a moment in that stopping for starting another journey, a beautiful journey of searching what is behind this title of I'm a ballerina, I'm a prima ballerina. Like I said, there was a lot of expectations, and you expect certain state to come from this title, certain, respect, certain feeling, more confident, feeling a bit higher somehow. And the reality of it is that you go back to studio and you go back to very humble position, you go back to work, you go back to perfecting things, and it's not that you reach something and that was it. And for sure there was, I don't want to say a disappointment, definitely not disappointment, but just realization that from this goal that I was achieving so strongly towards, that this state that came, it wasn't as satisfying as I expected. And then after stopping, also starting to search who is behind this mask of a ballerina, prima ballerina.
Here, at this point, starts our conversation. Tell me about this realization and this transition from I am training and I'm going forward to pursue a dream and I will be happy when I will achieve the dream, and then stepping out of it and looking who is behind the mask?
Yes, that was a big moment, I would say, on my journey and on my self-searching, self-development journey, if you can call it that way.
One moment.
Yes,
It
yes,
was a moment
yes.
when it was a realization, one night,
Yeah.
one retreat. It was a moment that sparkled everything.
No, of course, it was something that built up. Let's say build up because you're so in this life of being professional dancer, and you prepared your whole life to be there, and finally you reach this position, and finally this title that you believe is bringing you certain states is not fully satisfying and not giving you this ultimate state of happiness. But there was other things, of course. It wasn't just about that side of pleasing my ego. It was also about the body starting to, I guess, listen to my mind that maybe was questioning already, and then, let's say, body decided for me that it was time to stop. And yes, stepping out, it's a very big decision because, like I said, you're not thinking about anything else when you're dancing. You're giving everything in that moment. And in that moment, I started asking, what is going to give me that self-confidence when I'm not anymore on the stage in front of people? Same high, because obviously it's a very euphoric moment that you get. How do I keep my body in shape? Because obviously I'm used to movement. I'm used to what is going to be this new form and new discipline that I'm going to. So there was definitely a lot of questions. Even I think on the surface for everyone looked very smooth, but inside it was volcanoes. And I continued with Pilates first because it was something very close and physical movement as well. And that was, let's say, my first step out of the ballet, at least a safe way to continue with something I knew and I liked and I was passionate about.
This is a very particular experience of life when we're speaking about the humankind, to be in the peak of what you can achieve, and then to embrace the unknown into living a life without everything that you have built. How did you transition that period?
I definitely started searching. I started searching and finding different disciplines to help me.
So now, what was the moment that you rediscover a bigger path than the one that you were climbing before?
So then I continued, as I said, with Pilates, and it was wonderful helping people to become more in control of their body, creating mind-body connection, strengthening, and all of this side was wonderful to share my knowledge and experience. But then I started realizing for myself that I needed more tools to help myself mentally. I was struggling with anxiety, with maybe other bodily issues that were connected with the mind. And I could see from my clients, they needed also tools that they want to address the body, but they need some other things as well, that it's not enough to address the body. Of course, behind that, there's, like I said, mind-body connection. But I definitely said that, okay, I want to dig deeper and start discovering more tools that I can share with people as well. So I was doing retreats for myself. I went for a retreat in Costa Rica. I participated on psychedelic journey as well. And slowly, more and more, yoga became more appealing to me. Yoga appeared from here and there. I somehow wasn't ready, or I wasn't going after yoga first, but then I said, okay, let's try. And then yoga became also a big part of tools that I was sharing, and I did a teacher training together with Ayurveda and had so many beautiful experiences just with retreats and meditation and with finding my community in that way. Also people who are in search and questioning and want to have this deeper connection with themselves. That was a big shift as well, to change the community. because before it was also all about the ballet circle, and then it was, it was this little gap of unknown and like emptiness where, like I said, I wasn't having my fulfillment anymore, and my community was changing, and who are my people and who I can connect. And then slowly, when I started following more this inner voice, I could find my people again.
Yoga, it's such a trendy word, and I feel that it's so used that it always also becomes too, I don't even know how to call it, maybe too used in misleading ways.
Yeah.
And it's so mainstream that it becomes less interesting for the people that never practiced, that don't understand all the concepts and all the ramification of what yoga actually is. So how did you discover it, and what brought to your life?
Exactly. In my eyes, also, yoga was like, it's boring. What is this? I did like a movement in such a high level. How is it going to challenge me physically? And I participated in yoga classes with other teachers, and I started to realize that it's much more about different things. It's not about body as much as quieting your mind, as much as finding the stillness and working with your nervous system. And just exactly that discovery for myself, that was the tool that I was looking for. Finally, that first I was criticizing, that finally that was the tool that I was searching for. And I went and I said, I'm going to give it a chance and we'll see. And I did a yoga teacher training, and it resonated to the point where I think I was walking and just crying from happiness, because it was just all these things that was so deeply connecting to me. And I felt that this is it. And there was so much more artistry, I would say, that I missed also in my life. From just focusing on the physical yoga, I would say it's much more in the sense connected to dance. There's the flow. There were just more elements that resonated. It was much more colorful for me.
Colorful, but the moment that you were describing, it was also an awe moment. What did you find exactly? What changed in you? Why did you fall in love with the practice itself?
It was this deeper, is the philosophy. It was this deeper contemplation and meditations and the purpose of yoga, which is working through the body to be able to sit quietly on your mat and go deeper within. That was very, intriguing for me. That it was challenge. It's working truly deeply with the mind and the body same time. So I think that connection really intrigued me. It was what I looked for. Plus, of course, you have all the energetic systems. You have the, so many layers to yoga that is so fascinating and interesting, and just on many, many levels. And I just thought that this is the tool that people also needs to feel with its depth, not just the aspect of movement from it. Like you said, in our society, it's really considered just as a stretch or acrobatic performance, when actually the true purpose is completely different.
Now, speaking about meditation and introspection, how this helped you, and how in this process you release the compression from all the performative years?
I think it's something I'm still working on a bit. It will go, but for sure now I have the tools to keep working with this. But it's slowing down. It's a lot about slowing down your body, slowing down your breath, slowing down your mind, and just starting to find those gaps of stillness and silence. So I think it was a lot about that, and it's much more kinder approach to yourself than maybe ballet was. That you can actually listen to your body and move accordingly. So that was wonderful. And for me, let's say, I feel I'm somebody very analytical. My mind is active and wants to question things a lot. So it was a lot to really separate myself from my thoughts and realize that I'm not these thoughts, and I can observe my thoughts and maybe I don't have to believe all of them. So that was really aha moments.
For a very active person, like a ballerina, or a very pragmatic person, that is saying, I'm an active person. I like to do things. I like to see things done. Why do I need to chill down? Why do I need to go into silence? And why do I need to go inside?
It's always to find more authenticity, and there's these little seeds that you can bring into your life from that silence, that you may be not expecting always. Like you may want to have some sort of end result, productive result from your practice or from these moments that you dedicate. And finally, there's something deeper that happens, deeper shifts that are not so, you cannot touch them, sort of. Like you feel a different state of being. And as an active person, it is especially more important to find these quieting moments and stillness, and accept that there's both. You can't be just one, otherwise it's just going to be fire and you're going to explode and burn out. And your body needs both yin and yang. There's the softness and hard. There's the flexibility and strength. So it's yin and yang. So there's always those two forces that it's important to embrace. You can't just go fast. You have to slow down. So for me, it was a big practice to slow down. And presence, the practice of presence. And this is really a part of slowing down.
You had the experience of burnout in your life, and you now have the tools. And what have you gathered in the past years on your elevation path? How would you guide a person that doesn't want to meet anybody, that is in a burnout process, into finding peace or going back on tracks?
With the breath first. Simply, tool that is available for anyone. It's the most simple tool. It's free. And it's a powerful tool. So I think just about really quieting, stilling your body and starting to breathe. I would suggest that to the person. I know you cannot live if you don't breathe, so that's a good start. But there's so many breathing techniques that help to calm your nervous system and just shift your states of being, to energize or to calm you down from anxiety, stress. And this, I think, would be the most powerful tool that I would share first. And then I think moving your body.
Can you name a couple
Of breathing techniques?
You're saying?
I mean, it's a pranayama. You have the 4-4-4 breath. You have square breath. You have the nasal breath. You have normally, like, I don't really name them. I would say I'm just guiding people through with the counts. I wouldn't say that there's the most. Yeah, the square breathing, and that there's a triangle breathing. So there's all kind of techniques for sure that we can guide people through.
And the people would ask, okay, I'm doing this breathing. I'm forcing myself to do it even though I don't like to do it, because it's something like it's very staged. It doesn't feel comfortable. Okay, I do the breathing, and what do I do with my thoughts and with my emotions?
So as well as I was saying about breathing, I wanted to add, of course, the movement as well, because I think for somebody, like you said, if they're really encouraged to be in life or doesn't want to go anywhere, you need to shift your energy. And to shift your energy, it's movement. It can be just walking actually in nature. It's movement at home. So that's also the easiest way to shift the energy, because you need that energetic shift. And let's say the breathing comes after that, which is also, like I said, powerful tool. So movement, you start from your body, and then we go to the breathing, and then we can maybe start accessing the mind, which is, I guess, more going deeper and, like you said, a bit more difficult to take person there. But for sure, that's why yoga practice also is first. You have the whole movement part that you can actually bring yourself to be present, to be there with your body and mind in the space, land from everything from your life. And then you start breathing maybe you do pranayama after, and then you go deeper into meditation. That is even the limbs of yoga, how it follows one after another.
And now going to a different topic, going to the mindset and to the limiting beliefs, to the programming. What have you destructured in your life from your limiting belief system that was a couple of years ago to today?
For sure, big time, it's control. I can't say fully, but I think it's really, for me, it works when I tell my mind, and I've suggested that to other people as well, that it's a game and let's try. Like, it's when you play with it, when you tell your mind, you know what, let's give it a chance to do differently, to surrender, to let go of control, to jump into unknown. So I have to speak to my mind and kind of just tell it some idea that it's gonna agree to sometimes. So control is a big one for sure. More going into softness than rigidity, because for me, like I said, the discipline, the control, and organization has been something that drove me strongly. So softening through yoga, through breath, through meditation, and more, I guess, being more authentic. So not trying to show as a perfect, how to say, human being, and wearing a certain masks. So trying to peel those layers off. So that has been a big one. And just question myself, what brings me joy, truly? What brings me joy? What do I actually want to do? And that's listening to my body more with those signals, and having a more kinder inner conversation.
From limiting beliefs to belief system, what do you believe in?
What do you believe in?
When you connect or when you take the energy, you are taking it from the source, you are coming back into consciousness itself. Is it a singularity? Is it God? With what do you communicate? From where do you ask for help when you need it?
Yes, for sure. It is something bigger than us. It is divine. I had always this sense in myself that there is something bigger than us, but we're important part and we are part of it. So that's why I don't want to separate myself from it. So for me, it is. I don't want to say God, but higher self, higher consciousness.
It was this beautiful saying that we are waves of the same ocean. And when life finishes, the wave finishes. And the water that was present in that wave, it's also coming back into the structure of the massive ocean or that is there. I was asking you this because I consider that in the end, it doesn't matter how we name God or what are you praying to when we are referring to the a thing that is bigger than us, that can create all this structure in our universe and how life comes to being when there are so little chances for it to exist. So it doesn't matter, but as a framework for our minds, it matters how we create a puzzle of what is real and what not, and how structured are the layers on which we are putting. In the end, is not even belief, it's faith, because it's something that you cannot test. So for me, it was always important to question what is the if you want this ultimate reality, how is it pictured in others, but it's just creating a framework for myself to from where I come from. So okay, for example, in non-duality, yeah, it's that you are part of it and you are part of God itself, as God is part of everything. Even in Christianism, it's saying that, Christianism as well. Even though Christianism, it's so beautiful. I'm a Christian as well. I'm Orthodox, and all my childhood I was living with it, and I felt things in my body and changes in my configuration when I was in the church or when I was praying. But I think that over the years, because of the institution of the church, that transformed so much the message and the core of it, that it brought some elements that are not making it flourish as it should. Even though I think we are here today as humanity or as Europeans with the help of the church, even with its bad parts. So I'm not to judge, but when, for example, words like sinner are coming, um, it's becoming challenging for the belief system itself.
There's
And it's a
no
pity.
loving, how to say, unconditional love involved in that. For sure. I think the religions, I wish it to be more uniting people and coming to share the real message of what's for me, for example, Buddhism has resonated more, I think I would say, as a philosophy from all the religions, as I'm also Orthodox originally, so to say. But there was also certain things I could feel when you enter sacred spaces. There is certain vibration, but like I say, in the message, it can be getting lost, the true message, the true purpose. But it's beautiful, this like going back to the big ocean. And as I said, for me, it's this sense of that I'm the creator as well. So in a way, I don't want to be selfish, but for me, like you ask for that deeper connection, for belief. That's why I said I believe in myself, because I know that I'm creator. And I'm bigger of course, I'm part of this big picture and the big ocean. But I want to come to the full expression and full authentic expression of myself. And that's what I want to keep believing into.
Itself, even quantum physics, when we are observers and we are changing, or with our observer we are changing reality, or we make reality happen through not being a possibility of one or the other, from that state is a definition that we are a creator. And also through the consciousness perspective as well, consciousness is becoming aware of itself through humans. So in this form. So the definition is proper.
Exactly.
Going to the complementary side of yoga, to Ayurveda, tell me, what did you learn from Ayurveda and how that complemented the philosophy?
The Ayurveda is translated as the knowledge of life, and it has been a sister science to yoga. And again, when I studied yoga, it was on the side, one of the disciplines or one of the wisdom sciences that was taught, because it was used to be an important part together with yoga. And this is very fascinating approach to life as well, because it's a preventative medicine. It is very connected to nature, to the cycles of nature, the microcosm, the macrocosm. So as the bigger, as the smaller, and overall to human life. Ayurveda is about the health, but also there's the whole aspect of emotions, of daily habits, of daily routines. And what I love about Ayurveda, it's you can truly apply to anything, in a sense of there's a specific, there's 3 doshas. So basically everyone has their structure of their body that is connected with different elements. For example, I'm Vata. So Vata is the element of air and wind. So it's movement. Air and space. Air and space. And then you have Pitta, which is the fire and water. You have Kapha, which is the earth and water. And these 3 doshas are basically governing a human body, the nature, the cycles, and everything around us. So I think that is very fascinating, that there's the science behind what's happening around us and inside of us. Me, I have some daily habits that I keep kept from my Ayurvedic studies. I can't say that I live with Ayurvedic principles fully, because it's quite difficult, because it might be that you wake up at 5 and you start your day like this, or you go to bed at 8 p.m. So it's not always possible, but there's specific tools that has resonated to me more and helped me personally that I still use. But definitely it's a lot about food, a lot about daily habits, and it's just so fitting with how things are that I've observed other people, myself, and nature around.
We ran to the perfect point. What are the tools?
In the morning, I do the tongue scraping. So you have this specific metallic device. It can be from copper, and it's basically you scraping your tongue just to remove toxins from your body that have collected overnight. Your body's detoxifying throughout the night. So basically you're helping to remove these toxins. If you have allergies or clogged nose, you do nose washing. So that is also coming from Ayurveda. And then for me specifically, I observe myself, depending on the season, for example, as being Vata, for me, fall time is more time that is time of instability, time of disbalances can come up. So this is the time to maybe refer to my tools, which could be about eating a bit differently, about grounding myself more, about keeping warm. So there's those kind of tools that I observe and try to apply in the moment when it's needed as well.
What other practices are you keeping now in your life after everything that you've learned?
So my practices in the moment, of course, movement. I love to move the body and also shift my states if I feel a bit stagnant, and it can be even just a walk outside or a yoga practice or an exercise where you might even sweat and just feel your muscles and feel your body alive. Meditation is really important practice for me because, like I said, it comes even above the movement. Every morning I meditate, but unfortunately it's not always long because I have a little baby, so also goes with his schedule sometimes, but at least 15-20 minutes. And this is a time for me to almost program myself for the day as well.
So, do you also envision your day or what you want to achieve?
I don't say necessarily envision my day. I have certain states that I wish to bring more into my life. I wish to cultivate more daily. So I think I focus on these states and I try to insert them or integrate them more into my day. And this is what I say programming. So it's about, of course, first calming and quieting my mind with the breath, with stillness, and then going a bit deeper and maybe ending with connecting to these states that I want to cultivate throughout the day and life. So I would say those two are most important, and always connection with nature. Now where I live, you have beautiful trees around, and just even observing nature, it's immediately affects your nervous system, calms you, grounds you. Green color, it's really good for us connecting to the heart chakra.
Because you were saying about tools, it came to my mind about practical things that we can do when we are in difficult moments of tension, anger, frustration, and so on. And there are various ways in which we can do. It's press-acupuncture, that you are having different fingers that you are pressing or enlarging. It's the tapping method, is respiration, is how do you recommend, or what do you do in this direction?
It's guiding your attention back to your body as well. I think it's also, again, breath. It's about taking the moment. It's taking the pause. It's pausing your mind that probably goes in circles, and if it's anger or whatever it is. But I think it's about not allowing yourself to run after maybe that emotion and these feelings, and just ground yourself more into the moment, into the present moment, connection to your body, just observing your feet on the ground, literally like concrete things that you see around you. Just bring your focus back there and taking a breath.
Feeling your feet into the ground goes to grounding. What is grounding for you, and how do you nurture that?
What is grounding for me? It's about presence. It's about presence again. It's like not being up in the air in my mind, which is contributes a bit attributes to Vata character with Ayurveda, that Vata is a lot up in the air with the element of air and the space. So it's definitely about landing down from that mind place into my body and into this present moment, which helps. The breath again helps because this is truly what's here. We can feel it. It's present, and let's say life energy comes back in that moment. And for me, that's the grounding. Of course, I feel that now that I live more with nature around me, I do feel more grounded because, of course, when you just see nature, that is the ground behind under your feet, and it's present in your life. That helps. Then when you live in a big city surrounded by buildings and a lot of noise, and it's a different connection to life, I feel.
Speaking about feeding ourselves with the good stuff, what do you select to have in your life? And let's go a little bit through food, media, people, and so on, because all of them are components with what we are feeding.
Yeah, for sure, it's really important to choose, let's say, our diet in all the ways: what we listen, what we watch, what we eat, what our practices, daily practices, and then what we express also out there, right? It's also, let's say, what is the end result. So for me personally, yes, social media, I think it has an impact. So I notice when I decide to make a no phone time, that has a very big impact on the mind, on the nervous system, on the presence, and just being there for your people around you. So that is an important practice for me.
Do you think about social media that it's a sort of escapism from the actual presence?
I believe that in my vision that it's just a very easy way to get sort of a feeling of satisfaction. I mean, to get that dopamine hit, like we say. For me, I think it's more that personally. You watch some beautiful image, you watch some funny video. It gives you some sort of sensation, even it's not real in your life. It's not your life. And I think as well, escapism in a way, when you watch someone else's life, you feel that it's your life, but it's not your life. So it's like your body doesn't know the difference, right, in that small moment. And then you come back from social media and your life is not that, what you saw in the picture. And I think that can bring these emotions of, emptiness maybe sometimes after scrolling. And that also challenge our mind, I think, because of the social media, that our body doesn't know the difference, that what you saw, what you felt is actually not present in your life. It's not here. It's a virtual experience.
And this is also a link to our discussion before the podcast, that where you put your attention and your energy, you are feeding, even though you are not agreeing with the topic. And we were saying about, just as an example, about the war and how people might condemn the war or condemn the politicians or be against something. But because they're putting an interest there, they're feeding that.
Exactly. Our attention is the most valued currency, actually. Where our energy goes, exactly, this is what grows. So that's why I think it's even more important to kind of filter your surroundings, and value your energy, your time, your input, and be very selective about that. Because I think as we wake up in the morning, it's, I'll just say, everything from outside tries to get your attention. And that is your most valuable currency. So it's like making a conscious choice. What do you choose to give your attention to?
Those minutes when we woke up, when we are still in the frequencies that are between deep sleep and reality, when we can use that time for meditation or programming, as you are saying, that are very useful. Now, coming from everything related to yourself to something that you are doing for others and becoming a teacher, spiritual teacher. How do you hold the space and how do you offer people what you know?
I always try to approach everyone non-judgmentally, of course. I want to connect authentically, so heart to heart. I'm curious about the person. I like to know about the person. I like to create a deeper connection. I'm not always even approached maybe for a spiritual practice. But I feel I'm always carrying a deeper message. Even if it's people who come to me for a Pilates session, we end up always drifting a little bit into philosophies and, something personal. And I feel that there is always a way that I manage to plant some little seeds of self-reflection, of consciousness, there's just that deeper subject that comes up. And then, of course, when we have the people who come truly searching already for a specific discipline or practice that is more directly linked to spirituality, I'm very happy because you can, let's say, speak about concepts much more openly and create this beautiful space for much deeper connection immediately.
For example, when you create retreats, what elements are you combining into a unified program, let's say?
Yeah, this is interesting because it's always people coming with searching different things. Even there might be a theme, of course, on the retreat, but there's people who are maybe more, let's say, further on their journey of self-searching and inner contemplation, and then people who are just coming to have a break from their life. So I think for me, it's always first is that you allow people to pause in their life, to really stop, take a break, connect to silence and observe themselves and their life from outside. And then I love to bring all these practices that are hard to say, very close to me, depending on the theme of the retreat, but it's a yoga, it's a breath work, it's a clean eating. So it's approach of body, mind, and spirit always, whether it's going maybe deeper into altered states with the breath work, or if it's staying, let's say, more body focused with the more healthy food and exercise and nature. So I try to always integrate all the tools into the retreats.
Earlier in the conversation, you were mentioning also psychedelics. And it's interesting because I think now it's a right time when to speak about them, even though they are present for thousands of years. And our parents' generation were having also access to them, not directly and not through so social way, but through in-depth research and traveling. If they were having the capacity to travel in those countries, they were having access to it. They are considered as tools, and now there are more deep researches on what are the benefits and how this contribute not only to expansion of consciousness, but as healing our body from either from traumas, either from physical stuff, either from emotional problems, and so on. What did you find in psychedelic experiences that enhanced you in any way?
So first I want to say it's definitely not for everyone. There's a lot of tools open out there, and this is one of the tools. And for me, there was an interest in discover this tool. It came to my life, and I was open to have this experience. It was a beautiful experience, and to be honest with, I can say that there was a big shift that I would be conscious about from the psychedelic experience, but I connected with incredible communities. It was truly always moments where I could feel deeper connection with people, deeper connection with myself, and it was much more about integration. So I challenged myself after whatever came up to me in this experience, that what does it bring into my life? What's the point if I keep doing these experiences but nothing changes in my life? So for sure, it was always about trying to integrate the state, whatever came up to me, which is a very deep journey when you experience a psychedelic journey, of course, and you also need help with integration. It's a big subject as well.
Let's explain to the people that were never in touch with these concepts what means integration and how exactly you go from what you're saying, the experience, into how do you see a change in your life?
psychedelic experience. It's a helicopter that takes you to the top of the mountain and drops you right on the top. And in that moment, you see everything clearly and you're there at the top. But if you didn't develop these muscles to stay at the top when the wind starts coming or the storm comes, you're gonna go back, you're gonna fall down, right? So it's really that connection and that balance of having the tools to stay up there, or even like before, to prepare yourself to have this deeper experience. So to say, grow the muscles to stay on the top of the hill after this experience. So I think all these tools come in hand after having psychedelic experience, such as yoga, meditation, whatever helps you to connect back to that state. Journaling, it can be many things, but for sure for me it was a lot about meditation. It was a lot about just finding these states again that I experienced.
You are mentioning psychedelics as tools.
Yeah.
I would personally more going towards friends, entities, or masters. Did you experience them as entities to communicate with? And how was that connection felt on a deeper level?
It was for me, there was definitely some entities that I connected with a few times on my journeys, and they were very playful. It was funny, and it was just like kind of laughing about me, and I was like, okay, I'm here like suffering, kind of going through these deep things, like, and they're just laughing, and it's kind of a joke, So that was also interesting. And all the shamans who lead these ceremonies, for example, if we talk about ayahuasca as psychedelic, they're always very also playful, right? There's also this playfulness. So for me, it has been always kind of like, come on, like it's just a game, like just, play more, live your life. Yeah.
So this is actually something that you can bring into your daily life. Play more, meet your inner child, let it explore and come back to life again.
Yes. For me, that's something I remind myself because like I say, it's easy to be more organized, disciplined, rigid than that. So it's like just, playing with life and with my child, with my baby now, and watching him, it also helps, I think, to see how they approach life. Yes, the playfulness also comes a lot for me in ecstatic dancing because it's fun, and it's also there's that aspect of joy, and that's why that's also one of my tools.
Oh, let's discover what is ecstatic dancing.
Well, ecstatic dancing is expressive movement. It's a form of movement. Actually, it's the most ancient communal spiritual practice, as known in Africa. I think if we imagine ecstatic dancing, we would see immediately maybe, an African child or somewhere in that area of world, this happening. It's a beautiful, safe space where people can express themselves through movement without judgment, without alcohol, without any substances. And you can reach altered states of beings. You can have emotional release. And it's a fun experience, yeah.
And how does it happen? How do you achieve those states by dancing? And also what type of music? And also how do you do it?
So me, I work with the DJ, Philippe. He's wonderful, and he creates sort of a journey through his playlists. Actually, music is the most important elements, let's say, to this experience that guides you through it. So there's, let's say, the build up, the connection part, and then it elevates, kind of goes into catharsis when you are able to get to that state, let's say, because it's a continuous movement that goes on for a while. So you start feeling that you're tired at some point, and that and this and that, but you entered another state of being, so it's just something keeps you going, and that's the wonderful part. And and then the tiredness, you forget about it, and so the music gets you on the journey, and it also brings you down. So it's sort of like a wave that goes up and down. That's, let's say, the structure of the ecstatic dance experience.
Is any format for it? I mean, any type of movement inside of...
any type of, so it's your unique expression, yeah. It's what comes
If I don't have an expression?
you will. If you see, it's like it's connecting, for sure it's connecting again to that child, because when you put music with children, they start moving automatically. The body is moving to the rhythm. There is that inner knowing of rhythm inside of our body. So that is beautiful. So of course, it's not easy for everyone to get into that state immediately, because we're so used to have our masks on. So it's definitely, like I say, it has to be a safe space where you're able to take off your masks and to come through with your expression, movement, sound. It can be anything. And it's a individual journey. So it's not about dancing with each other. And that's why it's also safe space. So it's like, you know that no one is there to look at you, how you're moving, you know? It's definitely not with the mirror, nothing to do with ballet. With the form of ballet, there's no form. It can be animalistic, it can be really anything, just what your body wants to express. And that's beautiful.
Did you saw yourself or witness different states in which the same music or was having different impacts of how you are moving and how you are feeling it?
Yes, of course. During ecstatic dance experience.
Yes.
Yes. Of course. Like I said, it's increasing experience. So it's like you build up, right, and then you have the catharsis and
A release.
yes, a release sort of, and it can be just bliss. It can be euphoria. It can be emotional release. Some people even cry. So it's everyone is an individual, but. I love this. Yes, I love this, and it's for me. It's fun because I love movement, and that's the joyful and playful part, I say, of the practices that I share as well.
This sounds like a releasing technique for the people, for example, that cannot cry or they are very rigid or they are not also going at the other end of the spectrum, which is, for example, very tight fascia exercises,
Yeah.
which is quite technical and involves also breathing is much more
Yes,
complicated.
yes.
This feels like a practice of using your intuition
Yeah.
and letting your body move towards releasing something that is stagnant, even though you don't know what you're releasing.
Yeah, because automatically there happens a lot of shaking, you're bouncing, and that moves the energy in your body. And like you said, it creates a great release. There's a meditation from Osho that has also this movement part in it. And actually, that is same principle, that you're moving the stagnant energy out of your body. He has a different stages in his meditation. There's the breath, there's the movement, there's the, let's say, expression of your anger, letting it out, catharsis, or anger, sorry, stored emotions, that's what I wanted to say, and the stillness. So this is also used, like there is the power in that sort of approach and movement.
Not to mention that music itself is therapeutic through the beats itself, through the type of sounds and so on. This is why we are hearing music even in churches, and which is very ritualic or out to tribal, and also every type of frequency is having an impact on our states and can drive us towards deeper emotion, either pleasant and positive or negative. Now going from everything that you are doing for yourself to what life is doing for you and bringing a child in your life, because we are not in control of creating life, we are just here to manifest it and to make it happen. And congratulations for having a kid.
Thank you.
With Alina, we are having also 2 kids. And I know the experience. And I observed how this brings in our life a challenging point. It's not only the challenge of looking outside of ourselves and devoting to another human being, which that may happen even with our partner, but also on a psycho-emotional level, and also trauma that can be from this life or transgenerational that are brought to the surface to be seen, to be released, and to transform. Most of people are saying that they're masters, or they're coming with their crown chakra open, more open than what we are having as adults, and with that type of intuition that is guiding towards what we need to experience into elevating ourselves. How this chapter of your life arrived, and how do you feel it now as impacting your evolutionary path?
It's a big blessing, first of all. That's for sure. No, it's wonderful. It's magic. It's pure magic, I would say, because how can a human body create another human body? I mean, it doesn't go into the mind, into the logic mind. I mean, it's magic in its biggest expression, I would say. Also, it's a beautiful roller coaster. For sure, I think like you said, those shadows are challenged that come up again when you have this beautiful, cute little child, but also testing your patience, testing all these parts of you. You have less for yourself and less time for your practices that you maybe relied a bit on. That's what I say when we spoke earlier about also the belief, and like, I believe in myself. I don't want to be dependent on all my practices, which I love. But just to remind myself that when you have to give them up, that you're also okay, that it's not about the practices. So it's the state I'm trying to reach to. And with the child, like I said, those practices fall apart, and you might be finding a new ways to reach those similar things that your practices used to bring you, right? So that's why I'm not so strict. At the same time, all the tools that I share, like I said, they got challenged with the child. But for sure, it's beautiful time. I observe him, and I think like yoga was inspired from babies, because he goes through all the positions of in yoga while trying to get up. Like, obviously the flexibility. Obviously, there's child's pose. There's the happy baby. I mean, come on. Like, I think the mindset and the physical movement was inspired from babies, and that's what they say, yoga, life is about being present with the curious child's mind. Everything is new. So I observe him, and I see how everything is new and interesting when we're already taking things for granted. So it's nice to observe him. And yeah, it's definitely a big spiritual lesson, just observing him, and just reflecting it to myself. Like, these are actually interesting. I never paid attention to that. Or like, he's staring there. And
enlightenment doesn't come when you are meditating and staying into the top of the mountain. It matters on a daily life with your basic stuff that you are doing into how do you manifest into this world.
So that's why I say I'm a teacher in that sense, that I have my tools, but this came now to my life, I think, truly to challenge those tools that I've been practicing. Like, can you let them all go and still cultivate these states and this state of being? And that's without these tools.
And you passed.
I think now it's better. First month is always tougher.
How do you feel that your awareness rise since you became a mother?
Yes, for sure. It's unconditional love.
You discovered unconditional love to a new definition.
Yes, unconditional love to a new definition. It's difficult to express with words. It's definitely this sensation comes automatically, that you just want to take care of this, this beautiful child, this beautiful being. But the mother instinct was so natural, and that was amazing to see that it's there in us, in women as well. So that was amazing to connect to that, and that is experience that I wanted to have in my life, to have a child, to be a mother, and how my consciousness has evolved with it's again about about surrender. So surrendering, like I already said, the tools, a lot about trust, a lot about surrender to life, what next day and the next how do you say, a tantrum or cry will awaken me, and how that will challenge, and surrendering to that.
How did it impacted your couple relation?
For sure, it's a great moment in couples' life, I think, when the baby comes. It's a beautiful moment because it's, again, miracle that you're both part of. For sure, I think it affected in the sense that we feel more like a team also, that we're on our missions. In our case, for example, that my partner, he's more out working and I'm more with the child taking care, and that unites for sure. But for sure also to be able to find these moments of connection. So you have to separately, let's say, plan time together and make sure that you keep communication very strong. Because I think if your communication is not strong in those moments when you have a child, it can get very challenging. It's hard to understand what both are going through. Like, I could not imagine how my partner feels, and he cannot imagine what I'm going through, what I feel. So that's why I say communication is a big, important tool.
It's interesting because I was never thinking at communication in my case with Alina when we had a kid, but what I observed in our case is that it was bringing patterns of our families that were more visible in our family dynamic, which was crazy because it was never happening before. And it was a triggering moment that they need to come to the surface to be seen, even though it doesn't belong to me.
Yes, there's things that come up for sure from the shadows. Yes, it brings up, it puts the light on the shadows, and awakens, let's say, some emotions that you thought that are not present anymore. And that's where the tools come handy to still have this outsource to pass them through. And if it's a frustration or some emotion that you don't want to be lingering, maybe you just have to scream a bit in the pillow to release it. Just to let it out of your body, you know? I think when you're mother, everything is allowed. No, but I mean, mostly it's beautiful time. And like I said, I'm grateful to have a partner to share this as well. And it has brought us closer, and we feel like it's a great sensation to think we're family now.
What we didn't discuss until now is biohacking and brain optimization. And it came to my mind because we were keep on saying about what the kids are bringing and all the spiritual parts, but it's also what we can do in our daily life in using our internal biology to function better with some simple tips and tricks. And then we can go also to brain.
For me, a very big tool was tracking my sleep. Because when you see how you sleep and actually what you do throughout the day, it shows immediately in your sleep. And this is the most important part of our recovery for our brain, for our capacity to act in the world, to be good in our health. So optimizing health came after I stopped my career. For me, it was an important moment there when I, let's say, went a lot into biohacking. It was a lot about trying different diets as well, different restrictions, which wasn't finally the solution. It was interesting to explore, and I think they have their places to healing certain moments and aspects in our body. But biohacking, it's preventative medicine, so to say. And Ayurveda, I would say it's ancient biohacking. So that's why Ayurveda resonated to me, because I could feel more depth in it after I had explored the biohacking that I had in the beginning after my career. But sleep optimization.
One moment.
Yes.
How do you optimize sleep?
Avoiding your screens at night, maybe 1 hour, 2 hours before the bedtime because of the blue light, or at least dimming the screen, or wearing blue light blocking glasses. Not having alcohol close to the bed, not eating too close to sleep, because then your body is focused on digesting the food rather than going into deep sleep. Not having, let's say, any emotionally high events right before sleeping. So you just want to maybe read book, you want to calm down, walk in nature. And the best thing they say is to watch the sunset, because it's really signals to your body that it's time to sleep. Melatonin starts secreting, and this helps a lot as well.
or even decompression.
Decompression.
Decompression. Alina, which is our co-founder, and my wife was always speaking about this decompression before sleep, into going through what was happening during the day, into analyzing what were your emotion spikes, and to really put them into their places and to giving them the correct definition with a clear mind out of the intensity of the moment, into not remaining stored in a way that is not beneficial for yourself. So it's like emotional hygiene practice.
Yes.
That afterwards you can calmly go to sleep when you've let it the kitchen clean.
Yes. It's one of the important showers we have to take. It's for the mind that we often forget about, but it's true because it's always also mornings and evenings are the times for meditation. So it can be either meditation that you reconnect, you quiet, you allow yourself to feel, like you said, these emotions and, pass them through, not to block them into your body. And that's also a great moment in the evening to practice meditation or any sort of type of meditation, because meditation doesn't always mean sitting on a pillow. It could be that you're just fully present cooking. It can be, like I said, walk in nature. It doesn't need to have that sort of form as well.
Lisa, at this moment in your life, what would be the one message that the world needs to hear from you?
So my one message to the world would be already to allow yourself to be that seed of change that you want to see in the world, and specifically checking and filtering a little bit where you put your attention to, what do you want to grow in your life, because like I said, this is your biggest currency. What you feed with your attention, this could manifest in your life. So guiding your thoughts to more things that you wish to have, states that you wish to generate more in your life. Like we spoke about diet, food, social media practices. So be already the example for what you want to see in the world, and just check where your attention is.
Thank you so much for this discussion. I appreciate a lot not only your wisdom but also your presence. And as you were mentioning earlier, the frequency that we are sharing into the world is the impact that we are creating. So thank you very much for everything you do for us today and for others in all your practices.
Thank you so much. Thank you for inviting me.
As for the rest of you, I hope you enjoyed today's podcast. Please, let's continue the conversation below with commenting to this podcast, liking or sharing it to a friend that will benefit the information. And until next time, take care of yourself.